All right. So,
Hi.
welcome back.
I missed you.
Welcome back to the station, everybody.
I missed you.
Tensions haven't been high.
It's been crazy. We
It's
had
been
Halloween,
crazy out
election season. It's been a minute since we've spoken.
there. Sober October ended.
Sober October ended. I'm drunk right now.
Yeah, just this is not coffee.
And today, if you couldn't tell by my choice of shirt, we're going to be talking about the election. Yay!
Yeah.
Exciting,
Yes.
Scary. I don't know. It's the election.
It's crazy out there.
It's currently Friday at about
11.
11, and they haven't called it, but potential President-elect Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. is leading 264 to 214.
In Pennsylvania right now.
No, I'm saying
sorry.
in general. How many electoral college votes does Trump have?
Oh,
214?
Yeah. Joe has 264
Yep.
and Trump has 214.
Exactly. So yes. And so he's leading now in Pennsylvania and Georgia as of now. So if even one of those, with 1 to 2% margin of voting, if even one of those ends up staying blue for the next like 12 hours or whatever, they're gonna call it until they recount it, and then maybe we'll see what happens there. But for all intents and purposes, we're gonna have a new president, folks.
Yes.
Numero 46.
Yeah, it's interesting to see now how much everybody's involved. It's one of the most crowded elections. It's just everybody voted, whether it's mail-in, which I think I heard the number.
Yeah, I
of
don't know.
mail-in votes being 100 million,
Which is crazy.
which accounts for most of the votes.
2/3 of the votes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because
There's like 144 million, I think,
votes are
roughly.
144 million. Yeah,
That's crazy.
at the moment.
You
Yes.
really 100?
Yeah, that's the number
Holy
that I heard.
Shit. That is
Yeah.
so much mail-in voting.
I know.
2/3 of our election was done at Zoom University, pretty much.
'Cause
That's
if-
ridiculous.
Because if all the states are sending out mail-in ballots just to everybody,
Fuck it, right?
Why wouldn't you just
No work
fill it
for
out
you.
and send it? Yeah, you don't
That's
have to go anywhere.
crazy.
You don't have to worry about the lines amongst, in the midst of COVID and all of that. You don't have to worry about doing all that.
Yes. I'll say, your first takeaway of the election, and I don't know if we should be given that Joe Biden wins, but given that Joe Biden wins,
Okay.
because he should. If he doesn't, I'd be shocked. If somehow both states that are now leading blue unlead go back red and they doesn't get out of there,
Well-
that would be ridiculous.
Well, so they are very close though. And
It is
you and I were
close.
talking about in the past there were discrepancies and errors that resulted in 16,000 votes being
That happened
miscounted
once in
or lost.
Wisconsin. This woman forgot to hit save on her computer for, I think, a local election, and 16,000 votes weren't counted. And that was a famous thing. And there's obviously a bunch of that stuff.
Yeah.
That's why it's I'm going to wait till the recount's done, and I'm going to wait till it's until I see Mr. Biden himself being sworn in. I'm going to
And the
withhold.
Bible.
Yeah, I'm going to withhold just because you assume, but who knows? It is weird. So I
Yeah.
could, you know what I mean? So I just I'm being cautious. But,
Yes.
it's one of those 99% chance he's going to win. I'd be shocked if he didn't.
Right.
There's 3 states now that if one of them goes, he wins. So if that would be shocking if they didn't.
Right.
Especially if they're counting mail-ins mostly.
Right.
So first impression though, how are you feeling? What are you excited for? Nervous about? What do you look like? What's your first impression of Joe Biden's going to be president 46?
I have to be honest. So
Please do.
I haven't looked crazily into his policies. I know the gist of his
jeez.
stuff.
We got a liberal here, folks.
Um,
That felt weird coming off my tongue, dude.
I've looked more in the past, like I was paying attention in the primaries to mostly Andrew Yang and Bernie Sanders. Those were my
Hoorah.
never.
If only.
We'll have Robo Bernie in 2024.
Robo Bernie 2024.
Stem cell Bernie.
I wish what I wanted, not even what I wanted, what I thought the strongest. Well,
What's up?
I've spent the last few months saying I think if they did Yang Gabbard, that would have been the best pick. Because my opinion's been that the left is going to come out and vote this year no matter what. They're going to vote for the left candidate no matter what, and so it was going to be this no matter what.
Right.
Has been my opinion, and I think that. So given that, go for something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Go for something crazy. You'd have a very diverse ticket. You'd have moderates, so you might even get some swings from the right because like they're the more moderate candidates. There's aspects of their political views, their histories that conservatives would like. So I was thinking like that would be a better one than going for like a far left. It's gonna just be like blue versus red. I think that's what they wanted. But so I had always said that. But recently I was thinking, I like read some stuff and I was just thinking, and people like, I think Biden's the only candidate that would have won this year, because the argument.
Are you saying other people are saying that, or you agree?
Other people saying it, and I'm not sure. It's like, on the one hand, no one loves Biden. He doesn't have a strong base, but they voted for him anyways. But trying to get as many people to vote for someone like Bernie would have been hard.
Maybe. I think.
You know?
Yeah, Bernie's been around though, so it's
he has. A lot of people don't like him.
He's been outspoken. Yeah,
like,
so there's more controversy around Bernie because he has more strong opinions on things, which is another reason to support him. Because he knows what he wants.
I think the young radical left would have voted for him in droves, but I wonder we're gonna see what the breakdown of votes was, and I wonder if some of those other groups that were key groups would have voted or just been like, I can't support either, or what. Like people in like relatively moderate suburbs in the middle of our country that went blue, would they have gone blue if it was someone like Sanders or Warren on the ticket? And I don't know. Like I've always been like, yeah, they would no matter what, but like I don't know. And with an election like this, this is one of the closest elections. Like this is such a close election
because it's so everybody voted, and it's just so like straight down the middle.
It's just
It's been 49.4% to 49.6%.
So crazy.
Yeah. So
first opinions.
But to what you were saying, I think with what I've been seeing of demographics and things like that in regards to the election is Biden picked up old white folks from Trump.
Wow.
Since the last election kind of thing.
That's
where Biden took the lead from Trump.
Say no. Like,
yeah, Biden's been around, and he's not even so like in terms of Trump versus Biden, they're very different the way that they do things. But Biden's not the most left guy that they could have put up. It would have been Bernie or Andrew Yang.
Moderate, yeah.
Yeah, and you were talking about Andrew Yang, and I just wanted to say that Andrew Yang is I respect the guy a lot. He's got a lot of good ideas, so different. So it would be hard to get everybody to back him because he's so different. A lot of Democrats are wary because, really, UBI? You really want to do that, Andrew? It's like a lot of crazy ideas.
It's funny. It's the same kind of stuff Bernie wants, though. And that's what a lot of people want. So I'm curious. I don't really know, but I don't think the party's ready for him, and I don't know if the country would be ready for him.
Yeah,
I don't know if what he wants to do is even the best. I don't know how much of it he could even pass. You know what I mean? There's a lot of those questions. That's what I always think is interesting. People always make a lot of promises on the campaign trail, but like, what will they actually do? Like, if Sanders was president, what would he actually do?
Right.
I don't know.
I've heard him break down like UBI and those things, and that's the most glaring policy that he would have. Of
course.
Because it's, everybody gets $1,000 a month. What? And it's just like...
And that's amazing. It wouldn't be like, it's going to be happen. It'd be around. Like, slowly, he'd have certain cities do it.
Yeah.
He'd get pushed back. He wouldn't actually get it done. Who knows?
It's the equivalent of Trump's wall kind of thing.
Yeah, well, it would probably get done in some capacity.
Yeah.
Everyone might see aid, but everyone see consistent $1,000. I don't know about that.
Well, and the other good things in my opinion. Sorry, we can switch after this. He puts an emphasis on paying attention to tech companies as this new thing it's like the modern day oil companies.
Yeah, which it is.
Of the 20th century. Yeah. So I think nobody right now, Biden or Trump, is really paying attention to that. And I think that, so Biden's paying attention to the rich and he's imposing those huge taxes. But there's something specific about Apple, Google, Facebook, Twitter, all those that they're just flying high because they're this new thing that nobody's figured out yet.
That's why I want a younger president, because I feel like right now we need
Yang,
someone that's hip. Like Yang, if you're talking on the right, like Paul Ryan would have been good. Like anybody, like I want someone younger, because I feel like a lot of the older, like the baby boomer generation and stuff, they focus. Well, they just focus on the stuff that they've been focusing on.
Right.
They focus on what matters to them. Stuff like immigration and abortion and like ideology, I guess you'd say. Like, what's the right direction for our whole country to act? We got to be this way or that way. That's like a big old generation mentality that is what they focus on.
Right.
So a lot of these issues that we focus on are a result of them focusing on it. Where if young people were, not even young, but like if we're talking Gen Xers, were in office more, like once that gets to the point where it's mostly them in all offices, more of us agree on more of that stuff. So we're going to see that kind of stuff go away. And it's unfortunate that it's been hijacked. This like percentage of the country is kind of, no, we're going to keep arguing about this.
Right.
Where like most young people, there's not really an argument on pro-choice versus pro-life.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are like, yeah, like it should be legal. It should be legal.
Yeah, like,
maybe they don't like Planned Parenthood or something, but like they're like, yeah, it's fine. Like, there's stuff like that feels like we're on more of the same page, aside from like the 65 and up of our population.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow it's still an argument because old people are like, I don't know about that, and so it's important because they're making the rules.
Well, and there's also the demographic of people that are they just have those opinions because that's what they learn from the people in their life.
Yeah, it's not a consensus,
right?
There's more of a consensus.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I think cybersecurity is huge, and we're so far behind.
Yeah,
and I think stuff like education,
because we were thrown into it.
Yeah, I think cybersecurity. I think education. No, but other countries are doing better than us with cybersecurity.
Mm-hmm. But so we value capitalism so much that we just like, the company should do what the company wants because they're the private company.
I'm even talking about just safety. Like both the Democratic and Republican parties were majorly hacked a few years ago and just had files stolen by like China. And we just don't really, that happened. Major companies get stolen from all the time. There's major data breaches every year. Even stuff like voting, which is still like sketchy. We got to do paperwork because we can't figure out how to get people to stop hacking it. What?
Yeah.
There's just weird. Like I just feel like we're farther behind than we should be, considering how much of a leading tech giant our country is.
You need like triple encryption or something.
Just
like
something. I don't know. I feel like it's other countries just kind of steal, and we're like, yeah, well,
Yeah.
I don't know. But so I think some of that kind of stuff is stuff that I think a lot of people that are older don't have as much awareness about. And so like presidents, I think the president should be like 50 ish.
Yeah.
Because it's like, they can bridge the gap. Like they're old. They can. I need someone that's gonna be able to cater for everybody. If you got, it's the same as getting a 25-year-old elected. Now there's experience differential. But a 25-year-old doesn't understand what a 60-year-old's going through, and a 65-year-old probably doesn't understand what a 30-year-old's going through.
Right.
So getting someone relatively in the middle might be like, my kids are this age, my parents are that age. Like it gives them a little more whatever.
We just need a difference in perspective, really.
Yes.
Because, I mean, we're about to go from a 70-year-old white man to a 70-year-old white man. It's just like...
I think he's 77. I think.
Oh, yeah, they're late 70s. Yeah. But that's...
Yeah, no, I think that's the number, folks. He will be the oldest sitting president...
Ever.
Elected ever. So he'll be the oldest president that was, I guess, and then he's the oldest president ever.
Yeah. And Trump's like, what, 70? He's like a couple years younger only.
He was the oldest president before that or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's a crazy time, crazy election.
It is. I'm excited.
How do you feel about the next 4 years if it means a Biden presidency?
I'm excited for Trump to be out of office. I am not as anti-Trump policy as some people. I think that about half of what he's done I don't like, and about half of what he's done I'm either fine with or like. With me, it's a big idea of when there's a Republican or a Democrat obviously in office all the time, there are aspects of that kind of come with the job. Just because if you're a Democrat and there's a Republican that's sitting as president doing Republican things, I'm not like, screw that, because to me it's that's what a Republican president's going to do, or what a Democratic president's going to do. And so I kind of give everyone a grain of salt.
It's less about the guy and more about the party.
It's like, what is this president doing? Obviously, we're going to be in a more conservative 4 years, we're going to be more liberal 4 years, but what are they doing within that I like or dislike? And so with me, for Trump, there's a few things I kind of like that he did. I think he was really strong on China. I think Biden is going to be relatively strong on China as well. So I'm excited for that. He has said that he plans on being just as tough, which I think is important.
Yes.
I think when it comes to some foreign policy stuff, like with what Trump did with like NATO, I think is big. Just getting people to pay their fair shares. He's not a good foreign policy guy. Like in terms of his foreign, like The way he interacts with people isn't good, but I do think he's gotten some good stuff done. I think
foreign relations.
I think monetarily he's been good for the country. Part of that's just we're in a boom cycle. Yeah. But I think some of the stuff he's like, for every one new agency or department we want to open, we have to close 2. Like, he wants to keep things from growing too much. I think that's a good thing for a conservative president. That's what is the gig. So I think he was doing that stuff well. But he's the worst. Like, I really hate him as a person. Like, I really don't think he's good for our country at all, because it just reminds everybody every day of all of our issues, which might be good to a point, but just in the most unprofessional, head buddy way possible. And that's why I could just not vote for him. I just couldn't do it. Like, it's just not like, I can't support him as an individual. If he was like a poised professional, I think he would have been a fine president. Mm-hmm. Like, he would have been like a Republican president. He would have done stuff that people didn't disagree with, like with immigration and stuff. But he would have been a fine, normal president. He's just such a dick.
Since he was running, he's been, on Twitter and everything. And it's just, which, if he went, it's his demeanor, I think, for a lot of people. And so his demeanor and his history of comments and
all the allegations
and whatever. So all those things combined, and this demeanor, it just creates this bad guy. It does.
Yeah.
It's just
he's the heel.
He is a rich white businessman become president. That's what
which is scary.
We can see that. That's what the last 4 years was. And it's just, people have been experiencing that, and like they're like, I don't like that. So it makes sense why everything rolled out the way that it did.
I'm surprised.
He could have used Twitter as a great tool, connecting with the people every single day, and to the people that support him. That's what it was. But to the rest of America,
he's not fact checked.
He didn't unite the country. He polarized half of it, and that's something that I'm thinking about right now, because there's a group of people that kind of gather together in order to take down this guy because they didn't like how he was moving around in the country. At the same time, an equal part of the country, spare a few million, it was not about that, and they liked that guy. Mm-hmm. So we're at the most...
You're going to see a flip.
Polarizing, bipartisan.
The right's going to act how the left has acted for the last 4 years.
Right.
I think. And the left's been like, fuck this president. Yeah. We don't like this guy. He's an asshole. Now, they're not going to have the same ammo. Mm-hmm. The right's not going to have the same ammo. They're going to have to go... They're going to have to educate themselves on what he's doing. Because he's not going to do the easy... At most, he'll do like some of like he has the speech impediment people can make fun of, or like
that's petty as shit. Though.
I agree. That stuff's not good. So that's not going to work for 4 years.
Right.
So it's going to be, I think, the same emotions of like, fuck this president, but they're going to have to actually find what he's doing they don't like, which I think is good. I think everyone should be doing that. But it was really easy to not like Mr. 45. Right. Because he's every day saying shit that's offensive. So it's really easy to not like him. And it's going to be interesting to see, because I know for a fact that the right and the establishment right and the party is going to push the same sentiment they've been feeling for the last 4 years from the left back at them. But I'm just curious how they're going to do it. See, they're not going to have the same ammo. So I'm just curious if it's going to be, if people are going to get a lot more policy minded on the right, or if they're just going to be like, shut it out and say, screw this and speak platitude. I don't really know. Yeah. But I'm excited for the change, is my opinion on this, because I think that we've done 4 years of Trump. It's been a tough 4 years for reasons that are his, for reasons that are others. Media, life in general, our country's general civil issues are getting unrested again. So I think that it's a general movement anyways. So I'm excited to see, like, is it going to be better? Is it going to be a better 4 years? Is it going to be a safer 4 years? Are we going to come together more? Or if it's the same shit, then I think we're all going to hopefully realize something needs to happen differently.
So, yes, 100%. You just brought up an interesting point that I want to talk about for a second.
Hot.
Excuse me. The media in the last 4 years, insanely federally politically charged.
Yeah,
all of it. All of it. So with so apart from Fox News and the right-leaning media, and it seems to me, I mean, there are right sides of social media, like Facebook is predominantly right and things like that. I think all social media is left leaning. It's all
Facebook
popular. Is the most right leaning. That's like
Facebook's not right leaning. It might have right leaning populists on it, but it is a left company.
Yeah.
Like they take down a lot of stuff on the right and stuff. All major social media platforms are liberal.
Yeah.
I think there's the most conservatives on Facebook because there's a lot of people on
That's
Facebook.
what I meant. I didn't mean that Facebook is owned.
I don't even. Yeah, I don't know.
I wasn't saying that Zuck was a right winger.
You're saying like the constituents of the platform.
Yeah, the people that use it.
It is the most.
When you go onto Facebook, you have a more right narrative. If you're just like browsing,
you can.
Yeah, if you're not, if
that's the thing with Facebook, it's like depends on what you do. If you're left, you're gonna only see left. If you're right, you're gonna only see right. There's not any crossover. So, but there is the most ability to see right on Facebook if you're conservative.
Yes. So because the way that I feel about Twitter and Instagram is it's a lot of youth.
Yes.
So it's a lot of left.
Yes.
And you see that everywhere unless you build that environment or you join that environment.
Yes. Yeah.
So. The default is left, is what I would say. Facebook, it seems like the default is more neutral.
I would agree.
Okay. But in any case, SNL, are they going to make fun of Joe? Are they just going to not do anything?
They're not going to make fun of Joe.
No, I know. But, they could take the piss out of anybody. Did they take the piss out of Obama?
They're going to not really, because in the last 15 years, you've seen SNL definitely start catering to politics, catering to a specific side of arguments. It's because that's why I think it's less effective because it's very clear that it's not making fun of everything anymore.
What's their new season going to be about now? It's just an interesting thing to think about because
it's going to probably be about conservatives.
I guess so, but it just feels like but
it's been such a political season that they need that. That's the train they built. I wonder how they're gonna. That's fair.
Yeah. So they could keep ripping on conservatives, but at this point. We
kicking the dog while it's down.
At this moment most likely have a Democratic president-elect. So, what's the point of kicking them while they're down?
It's so crazy.
So it's just like
4 years of Trump. Of course, he wasn't gonna get reelected. It's Trump.
Yeah,
Trump's crazy.
But also,
oh my God,
could have gotten reelected if he
coulda, almost did.
Yeah.
Imagine, man. You know how mad there'd have been riots, dude. It would have been horrible. People would have been so upset. I was trying to see if they called the election while we were doing this.
That'd be ridiculous.
I don't think they did, but we gotta know if they did.
I mean, because
come on.
The AP.
I'm just looking. Wouldn't that be something?
I've been steady drifting between Google's, like they have that interface.
264, 214.
Crazy. Google and the New York Times. The New York Times has a cool breakdown of, they have like 4 different maps of the country, and they have just like the states that have been called, and it's like the hard colors, and then they also have the country by electoral votes, and each state is like how many electoral votes it is in the shape of that state. So it's like a good visualizer to see how many votes each party has.
Yes. The Senate and the House still haven't been called. They're still moving along.
Yeah.
I don't think they've made any progress in the last 24 hours.
I think the House is still blue right now, right?
Yeah, I think the Senate's gonna go red and the House is gonna go blue.
So
we got a conservative leaning court. It's gonna be an interesting mix. We're gonna be pretty much 2 and 2, which I think is good. I think it's better when it's like you got checks and balances at all levels, where it's like there's Republican Supreme Court, there's a Democrat president, there's a Senate and House are split. I think that's better, but less gets done. Mm-hmm. It's like a part of you wants to have it be like all 4. If you can get everything on one side, you can get more done in 4 years.
Yeah.
But I just feel like at this point we're at the point where it's going to be doing and undoing.
Mm-hmm.
Where Trump undid a bunch of stuff Obama did, and now Biden's going to undo a bunch of stuff Trump did. And like I think that's where we're headed, where it's just tit for tat. Every 4 or 8 years we go back on things, and like slowly things move forward because people accept the changes. Everyone accepts the changes one side did, but most of it's going to be me versus you. Who's winning?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It feels weird. I feel like I'm watching like football teams. Yeah. Imagine if football was just 2 teams.
Yeah, that's what.
All the time.
It's a game. It's like what I was saying about how nice would it be if you could add to a national pool and bet on the winner of the presidency.
We're getting there, man.
That's America at its.
You know what I want? Just for chaos. You know what I want for chaos? I was thinking this the other day. Biden wins.
Mm-hmm.
Trump runs in 2024 and wins again.
Grover Cleveland type beat.
Yeah. Imagine.
Or was that Garfield? One of them.
Imagine, man. Imagine 4 more years. You thought I was finished?
You know that video?
Imagine,
I'll put it in the video podcast.
I don't know what time we're at. But
We're at 25, and I had something
cool.
that I thought would be good to end on.
Go for it.
So there were also, I don't know a lot of the names, but I've been seeing also in the media in regards to the election, in regards to Congress, there's a lot of LGBTQ plus people being elected.
Bunch of random
There were
firsts,
like 3 for sure off the top of my head that I saw. There were like 2 black gay men.
Yep, openly. First 2
Yep.
black openly gay men.
And also transgender woman.
Yep. Was elected
So,
Senate, right?
In
Yeah.
in like the South.
I don't know
think.
about that. Maybe.
No, Delaware.
I was
sorry.
going to say Delaware.
It was
That's
Delaware.
what I was thinking.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. It was Delaware.
I think a couple interesting things. I think that happened, which I think is great. I think representation is key for
Yes.
all groups. I think that's awesome to see.
It just makes it more real in government.
I think there was Nebraska and Delaware, or Nebraska and Maine both split vote again, which is good. I think that's good to see that that's happening more. I think this is an interesting election. I wonder how much is actually going to change out of this. Like how people are going to change their perspective on
Sure.
voting and how we can get involved and the power of the people, if there is any, like that argument. I feel like that's something to focus on. What do you think the most important thing is, like, going into these next 4 years? What's the most important issue to you? The most important, really, truly. If one thing gets better in the next 4 years, what do you want to see get better?
I think the reason why there was so much support for Biden and the Democratic president this election was because people want unity and they want social peace, because it's just like we're at a point where it's like you were saying about boomers and stuff earlier. There's like these old ideas that are living in this new world kind of thing.
Do you
It
think
feels
the left
like
is going to give unity
I think that
to everybody?
It's we're at 27 by the way.
Go for it though, quick.
It's tough to say because there's so many people on both sides of the aisle, and there's a clear line in the sand now, more clear than it's been in the past few years, at least. So, and sorry, I lost my train of thought.
You're good. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're gonna get unity in the next 4 years, but I really hope so. I think we need to walk ourselves back from that line in the sand and figure out what we need together as a people. I don't know if we'll get there because everyone seems to be too mad at each other right now, but I hope we can. We'll see if Joe Biden becomes the president. I believe he will be. And we will see you next week, right here, Sunday, at the station.
With John Sherburne and Justin
Justin Kesha. Love you, bitches.
Be good.